Excuse me. Hello? What? Well, no one mentioned it to me. I just assumed it was a 9:30 start. Right, okay, no, I'll handle it. I'm sorry, everybody. We're going to have to start the show again. You still there, Pete?
Yeah.
All right. Cue opening titles. Thank you very much. Thank you. Pointing at nobody. Thank you, but very kind.
But not only that, it's slightly wider below the equator than above the equator.
A little chubbier.
A little chubbier.
Yeah.
Chubby's a good way. It's like pear-shaped.
Yeah.
So, it turns out the pear-shapedness is bigger than the height of Mount Everest above sea level.
Hey, it's Bron. Who's there on the other side? Knock knock and g'day to the absolute best humans on flat earth. Before we get started, I just wanted to share why I'm doing this video. A while back, at the start of COVID, I got into a few discussions on Facebook with atheists. Everything they threw at me came from Freemasons and Luciferian quotes, dressed up as signs. I made a story back then and put a lot of this information in it, but it didn't save and it has disappeared. So now with the division that's happening, especially with what happened with Charlie Kirk, I thought it was time to bring it back. This video goes deeper and it shows how the Freemasons started the Royal Society, which helped shape modern science and spread atheism, even though they themselves were not atheists. They believed in fallen angels. Their masters are fallen angels. They use scientific ideas like evolution to spread disbelief in the Creator while serving their own false gods. So let's get into this. So let's start with one of the main figures. Sir Robert Moray, a prominent Freemason, was a founder of the Royal Society, showing direct links between Freemasonry and the rise of scientific institutions. He joined Freemasonry in 1641 and helped create the Royal Society, foundation of modern science. But the great architect of the universe that they talk about isn't Yahweh, it was Lucifer, the fallen light. In 1660, Moray persuaded King Charles to charter the Royal Society. It became a fellowship, not a school, a network for promoting a new worldview. From there came Isaac Newton, Charles Darwin, and the scientific establishment we know today. So I'll just play this little clip here.
I'm Dr. Patricia Farrer, and I'm President of the British Society for the History of Science, and I'm not a Freemason. Sir Robert Murray, he's a very interesting character. He was doing stuff about agriculture, he was very interested in whale hunting, he was interested in wood, and a lot of the people who were involved in early Freemasonry were involved in subjects like navigation, astronomy, surveying, all those sort of practical crafts and skills.
To Murray, God was a grand architect who had used geometry to build a world that was beautifully designed.
A lot of early Freemasons used the term the great architect of the universe rather than refer specifically to God as such. And so that's the Masonic terminology that we use even today.
Robert Murray is not only a founder of Freemasonry, In 1660, he took his passion for the hidden laws of the natural world to the new king.
He was a very strong supporter of King Charles II, so one of the things he persuaded the king to do was set up a society and give it a royal charter.
This was no ordinary society. The Royal Society was the birthplace of modern science. From here, great discoveries, like those of Sir Isaac Newton and Charles Darwin, would be supported. And it was the Freemason Sir Robert Moray who played the crucial role in making the Royal Society a reality.
So let's talk about Darwin. He was elected to the Royal Society at age 30, won several honours, but behind his story is a family of Freemasons. His grandfather Erasmus Darwin and father Robert Darwin were active Masons connected to St. David's Lodge and the Lunar Society of Birmingham. So while Darwin's theory spread atheism, it came from a Masonic network that already rejected Yahweh and followed their own hierarchy of fallen spirits. Freemasonry bridged mysticism and science, mixing Hermetic, Rosicrucian and alchemical ideas. They weren't promoting truth, they were building a system of control. Now when you trace it further, you'll see the same forces, the Vatican, the Jesuits and Freemasonry, shaping education, knowledge and belief worldwide. Their goal wasn't faith, it was influence. Even in Enlightenment Europe, Jesuit and Masonic groups shared resources and power. Documents like the Alta Vendita show covert plans to influence church leadership and culture, centuries of manipulation through knowledge. And it's still happening today. Lodge records show that King James was entered as an apprentice Freemason and fellow craftsman Freemason. This supports claims of Masonic influence in major religious and social developments. Fun fact, King James was in fact related to Bloody Mary. Bertrand Russell, widely celebrated as a founder of analytic philosophy and leading atheist, is cited as a Freemason, displaying the connection between Masonry and the leading proponents of secular thought. Bertrand Russell was an elected Fellow of the Royal Society in 1908. Bertrand Russell's writings show notable contradictions, mostly between his earlier belief in absolute rationalism and later acceptance of humanistic relativism. Key conflicts include: he criticises belief in anything without proof, but then claims that nothing is certain as a definite truth, contradicting himself. He calls the demand for certainty as intellectual vice, while insisting that not being certain is the one essential certainty. Another contradiction. He rejects religion as based on fear, but calls the good life inspired by love, echoing religious ethics despite his materialism. He praises human rationality, but also harshly criticizes humanity's actual reasoning ability, showing oscillation between optimism and pessimism. He questions the definiteness of mathematics, even as he dedicated his career to proving mathematical truth. One contradictory quote: "It is certain that the world is not something in which certainty is possible." The problems of philosophy. It is undesirable to believe a proposition when there is no ground whatsoever for supposing it true. This highlights Russell's tension between claiming absolute skepticism and demanding justified belief. In summary, Russell's philosophy embodies the paradox that pursuing truth requires doubting even the certainty of truth itself. That's just some of Russell's contradictory quotes. So another one of their heroes that they quoted to me was Aaron Ra. Wikipedia says that he's an American author, podcaster, and atheist activist. But if you only need to do a tiny bit of digging to find out who he really works for, and that is the Satanists. So here you can see he's doing a hand signal, and here he actually comes out and says that he's a Satanist. He made an appearance at the state capitol and was called out for it and had this to say. So at the end he said he's comfortable calling himself a Satanist. So there you go, short clip here on Harari.
Science is not really about truth, it's about power. The real aim of science as a project, as an establishment, is not truth, it's power. Particular individuals, particular scientists may be very interested in the truth, personally. But as an institution, the real aim of science is power. Well, science doesn't provide any answers for ethical questions. Therefore, it can never stand by itself. And even at a deeper level, science is not really, at least this is my view as a historian, science is not really about truth. It's about power. The real aim of science as a project, as an establishment, is not truth, it's power.
So here we have Mozart, others doing the Masonic sign, Queen's witch nurse with the Masonic belt on. Not exactly sure who this is. So Einstein was a member of the Theodor D. Neuhoff Lodge, number 111 in Berlin, Germany, according to Masonic records, and the St. Helens Masonic Hall. All of them are connected to the Masonic societies and occult. They were not atheists, they believed in a spiritual power. Here's a clip of Alex Jones, the shill, telling you how it is.
And when you really actually study the globalists, none of them are atheists. They're into the occult.
Exactly.
And they believe they're interfacing, even at Skull and Bones. At Yale, they get in these coffins for days. They try to get these spirits to come into them. They try to channel these spirits. So that's really what this is. And we have to admit to ourselves that what we see and taste and touch and everything is a very small piece of actually what's going on. And that there is this wider battle going on. Then you realize, oh my God, God's real. I better choose God or I better choose the devil.
Instead of using the Creator's real name, he uses two names for the devil, or for the angel that deceived Eve in the garden. So the Creator's real name is Yahweh. Let's throw this one in there, because Johnny Howard's in there. The Aussies can see it. They're part of the crew as well.
This is Albert Pike. According to encyclopedia.com, he was the leading American Masonic scholar of the 19th century. Albert Pike claimed to have received a vision, which he wrote down in a letter in 1871. This isn't hearsay. This can be found in the U.S. archives at archive.org, and it was also displayed in the British Museum Library in London. He describes 3 world wars. 2 world wars have obviously already happened, but I'm going to read you what he said about the Third World War. And for TikTok's sake, although this is not conspiracy, as there's actually documented evidence of this letter, this is simply what one man says he had a vision of. So, take it for what it is. I'm going to read it to you. The Third World War must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences caused by the agentur of the Illuminati between the political Zionists and the leaders of the Islamic world. The war must be conducted in such a way that Islam, the Muslim Arabic world, and political Zionism, the State of Israel, mutually destroy each other. Meanwhile, the other nations, once more divided on this issue, will be constrained to fight to the point of complete physical, moral, spiritual, and economical exhaustion. We shall unleash the nihilists and the atheists, and we shall provoke a formidable social cataclysm, in which all its horror will show clearly to the nations the effect of absolute atheism, origin of savagery, and of the most bloody turmoil. Then everywhere, the citizens, obliged to defend themselves against the world minority of revolutionaries, will exterminate these destroyers of civilization, and the multitude, disillusioned with Christianity, whose deistic spirits will from that moment be without compass or direction, anxious for an ideal, but without knowing where to render its adoration, will receive the true light through the universal manifestation of the pure doctrine of Lucifer, brought finally out in the public view. This manifestation will result from the general reactionary movement, which will follow the destruction of Christianity and atheism, both conquered and exterminated at the same time. What do you think about that?
So the Royal Society was started by Freemasons. They made atheism popular, but they never believed it themselves. Their faith is in the fallen ones. This video is to show that atheism was engineered, not discovered. Now, if you'd like to delve deeper, check out Awake Souls on YouTube. I'll leave a link to their videos in my video description, where they destroy heliocentrism. Thanks a lot for watching. Leave a like or comment if you feel like it. Catch you later.
Fight! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Knockout! Piece of cake.